Okay, I'd like to call to order the monthly meeting of the Township of Lopatcong, June 5th, 2024. Please bow your head for a moment of silence, and please keep in mind the family of Bob Race, who recently passed away. He was a lifetime member of the Delaware Park Fire Department. Just please keep him in your prayers. Salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Oh, no, wait a second. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided indicating the time and place of the meeting in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 by advertising a notice in the Star Ledger, the Express Times Warren County Zone, and by posting a copy of the bulletin board in the municipal building. We have a roll call, Beth, please.
Yes, Councilman Belcarra.
Here.
Councilman Marinelli.
Here.
Councilman McQuaid.
Here.
Council President Polito.
Here.
Mayor Ray.
Here. Mr. Lavery, can you summarize the executive session, please?
Yes, Mayor. We emerged from executive session at 7:30 PM where we discussed one attorney-client privilege matter dealing with the Personnel Policy and Procedure Manual, another contractual matter dealing with agreement for police services for the Lopatcong School District, an attorney-client privilege matter dealing with the EMS update, attorney-client privilege matter regarding bidding for the Sally Port addition to the municipal building, and an attorney-client privilege matter dealing with temporary trailers. No official action was taken. Copies of these minutes will be available at such time as the council determines there is no harm to the public interest.
Okay, thank you. Okay, under old business, number one, minutes approved executive and regular session minutes for May 1st, 2024. Can I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Roll call vote.
Councilman Belcarra.
Yes.
Councilman Marinelli.
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid.
Yes.
Council President Polito.
Yes.
Mayor Ray.
Yes. Number two, ordinance number 24-10, second reading and public hearing to amend, revise, and supplement Chapter 172 to include schedule for placement and storage of refuge containers on Collection Day. Have a motion and a second, please? To hold a public hearing?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Comments from the public? Mr. Bush?
Bob Bruce, 11 Harwich Road. Can you address what the impetus for this ordinance was and what the provisions regarding the time frame that you seem to be delineating? Thank you.
We had several requests from the public for folks that, not necessarily when they put out their refuse container, but when they collect it, days and weeks later. So we put a schedule in place that you can put your refuse container out the night before around 7 p.m. and the next day bring it back in by 7 p.m.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Have a motion and a second to close the public hearing.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt the ordinance.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll roll call that.
Yes.
Councilman Belcarra.
Yes.
Councilman Marinelli.
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid.
Yes.
Council President Polito.
Yes.
Mayor Ray.
Yes. 2024 budget hearing and adoption. John Mooney and Kim will speak about it. Can we have a motion to hold public hearing, please?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're here tonight to adopt the 2024 budget. Total appropriations are $12,536,409.40. Projected miscellaneous revenues totaling $6,472,501.79. And amount to be raised is $6,063,907.61. It represents a little over 2-cent increase from last year.
Okay. That's it?
I
You're
think
good?
Kim said it all. Yeah.
Said it all?
You're well below both caps, and we're here for any questions that you may have or the public may have tonight.
Okay. Any questions from the public?
Under Bob Bruce, 11 Harwich, under the new business, there's at least the one ordinance I'm looking at, 2411. We're talking about appropriations for capital improvements and then also issuance of bonds and notes, and I believe it continues on to the back. Is all of that factored into that budget?
It's in our capital plan.
Okay.
So you have to have it in the capital plan, and that's why we're introducing those two ordinances today.
Okay, so the budget in which the payment for those appropriations is not yet formulated,
The
so
down payment is.
the down payment for it,
Right.
okay. And,
The
Okay.
ordinance is just the vehicle or mechanism, so you could start spending. We have not borrowed on any of that, and I don't think we'll proceed borrowing on that unless this project really gets going, either to the end of the year or next year.
okay, well, the ordinance 2411's first reading, so if you have any questions, we can have second reading.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Have a motion and a second to adopt the 2024 budget.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, Beth?
Yes. Councilman Del Caro?
Yes.
Councilman Marinelli?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Council President Polito?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes. Resolution, number 4, resolution, annual audit, approved the 2023 audit. Signed group affidavit having reviewed the recommendations and comment section. John Mooney will speak about it.
Good evening, Mayor. Tonight I'm here with Amanda Garris. Amanda Garris is a CPA from our firm. She's the manager on the Lopatcong audit. And Amanda is my boots on the ground when I'm not here. This year, I'll just tell a quick little story. I know you got a big crowd, but I want to give you some highlights about your audit this year. Amanda had come into my office in January, and she asked if she could have a moment. And we sat there and we discussed Lopatcong. And she had just been here in Lopatcong, and she was thrilled with the way everything tied to the penny in the collector's office, everything tied to the penny in the CFO's office, and both offices agreed with one another. And in our 15-plus years, we've never had that before here in Lopatcong. So we are thrilled that we are here tonight and giving you a little rundown of where you've been or where you're at this year. I can tell you without bias, this is the best conditions the financials of this town has been in since I've been associated with this town. And again, that's 15-plus years. I can also tell you you're in your strongest position that you've been in the last 15 years as well. Current fund, just to give you some big, broad overviews. Current fund, your cash position is very strong. You're roughly around $8 million in cash in the current fund, and that's the fund that drives the spending in the municipality. This is probably the third or fourth year now you have not had to defer school tax. It's a complicated type of accounting entry that we were using years ago to help you put a budget together and get to the finish line of the budget adoption. We haven't had to touch that in years, and that school payable has grown to over $1 million. That's a good thing, right? Because you're allowed to defer that money and take it off your books to increase your fund balance. Haven't had to do that here. Had several towns in Warren County that were living on that, weaned all of that off. So we're in a good spot with that. And your fund balance is down about $500,000 from where it was at the end of 2022. And I'm still telling you that this is the strongest position you've been in because that was a change that you put into last year's budget because we needed to get that money in as down payment money should the park project move forward. So we were able to use your own money that you've collected over the years, that you've gone out and been stewards of, and now you were able to use that and put that into down payment money for the park without increasing taxes to get that money. So you're in a very good, very positive, very strong position there in fund balance, and I don't see anything so far this year that would tell me otherwise, that it's going to be anything, less than $5.5 million going into next year. So you put yourself in a very good position. Sewer operating, strong cash balance there as well, roughly $3.8 million, up about $700,000. And why this is important, there was one committee many years ago that said we have to stop moving money over. Joe Pryor was adamant that we were going to take that revenue out of the current fund budget that we were bringing in from the sewer fund. And as you slowed that down and eventually got off of that, you began to see the sewer fund rise and the fund balance rise there. And you're at roughly 3.3 million in fund balance there. My only suggestion there is that your sewer system's not getting any younger, it's getting older by the day. Time to start moving a little bit more money into capital on an annual basis, and we'll do that through the budget going forward. Your reserves. 3 main reserves that you have, and then I'm going to tie it all together here. Your storm recovery reserve, your accumulated absence reserve, and your pending tax appeal reserve. All very healthy, over 150,000 each one. And why this is important is because you have a bond rating coming up. When we go out to do the park bonds, you're going to have an official statement. And that official statement, S&P or Moody's, whatever rating agency that you have, they're going to want to see all of your financials together in that official statement. And they base their opinion of what your rating should be based on that official statement. They don't just look at fund balance and say, okay, you have 5 million, that's nice. They want to see how you're going to sustain that for the future. They want to see what reserves you have for those proverbial rainy days. You have them set up. There's all kinds of things that they look at. And I will not guarantee anything because you can't. But you should come in with a very high rating. I don't think you'll be AAA, but I could see a very strong AA plus, a high AA, and that's what I anticipate. Why that's good, why that's important, because when you go out for bonding with this, the better your rating, the better interest rate that you're going to get. You'll see a lower interest rate, the higher that rating is. Now, I have 2 towns that I do that are AAA rated. I don't know if you get to that extent. I hope you do, because then I'd have 3. And there's only 25 in the state that have AAA rating. So that would be great. I might actually hurt myself, patting myself on the back that night. But yeah, that would be awesome if you could get that. And there's a possibility that you could. The only thing that's holding you back is the size of the municipality. You're not Newark, you're not Camden, you're not a municipality that size. You're pretty built out, so there's not a whole lot of building growth that you could foresee in the future. So it's basically taxing authority. So that's going to be important. And all these things that are happening now are happening at the right time with the good audits, the good budgets, and coming into that rating, that's going to be huge. Between the size of the rating and your rating itself and the size of the project, you should have a lot of interest coming in from bidders, and it should be very competitive, which means lower rates to you. And then lower tax dollars that, interest dollars that you'll have to pay out. With that said, the recommendations part of the report, there are no recommendations that we have. We set up shop for about a week. After we did the preliminary work, we came back, tested everything soup to nuts. Nothing that we found rose to the level of a formal recommendation for the audit. You have a very, very clean audit. You should be very proud of the people that you have here. Everybody does an excellent job. All the department heads, they all get together. Kim does a great job. Your tax collector does a great job. Beth does a great job. Communication, everything's available for us when we walk in the door. It's been about the best year that we've seen here in a very, very long time, if ever. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys, all your hard work, Kim, you guys, Beth, the whole team. Everybody does a great job. And as you see, this thing started to take place back when Joe Pryor was here. The movements he made back then, and Mayor Mengucci is in the back, and it all started back then, and it took till now to get everything up and running. So it's, I thank everybody. Amazing.
And you asked the question, you were in my office the other day, how many audits have we had, clean audits? And back to 2019 was the first one we had the clean audit.
Really?
No recommendation, so, yeah.
Well, I enjoyed it. It's pretty interesting. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. All right, can we have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Yes. Councilman Del Caro.
Yes.
Councilman Marinelli.
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid.
Yes.
Council President Polito.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes. Number 5. Thank you, guys. Authorize Mayor Wright to execute shared service agreement with the town of Phillipsburg for code and inspection services. Can I have a motion and second to approve that, please?
Motion. Second.
Roll call?
Yes. Councilman Valcaro.
Yes.
Councilman Marinelli.
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid.
Yes.
Council President Leo.
Yes.
Mayor Wright.
Yes. New business. Ordinance number 24-11, first reading bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $932,500 for various capital improvements in and by the Township of Lopatcong and authorizing the issuance of $807,975 in bonds and notes for financing part of the appropriation. Could I have a motion and a second, please?
Motion.
I'll second that. Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Valcaro.
Yes.
Councilman Marinelli.
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid.
Yes.
Council President Leo.
Yes.
Mayor Wright.
Yes. Number 2, ordinance number 24-12, first reading bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $17 million for improvements to the Lopatcong Park in and by the Township of Lopatcong and authorizing an issuance of $16,150,000 in bonds and notes for financing part of the appropriation. Can I have a motion and a second, please? I'll make that motion. Roll call, please.
Yes. Councilman Valcaro.
Yes.
Councilman Marinelli.
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid.
Yes.
Council President Leo.
Yes.
Mayor Wright.
Yes. Number 3, ordinance number 24-13, first reading to amend Chapter 199 of the Code of the Township of Lopatcong entitled Stormwater Management to reflect amendments to the New Jersey Stormwater Management Rules at NJAC 7-8, adopted by July 17, 2023. Adam, can you explain that for us?
Sure, certainly. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this ordinance is being adopted as part of the requirements of the township's stormwater permit with the state, the DEP. Last year, and sort of following the effects of, the increased storms and specifically the impacts of Hurricane Ida, the state has enacted revised stormwater rules at that NJAC Administrative Code 7:8. Increases, it really affects development specifically. So anyone that comes in with a major development, any type of development, residential, commercial, industrial, they'll have to have a higher standard for stormwater management design to address runoff coming from their property, coming through their property, and managing those impacts of erosion, the rates, the amount of rain coming from the property, and how quickly that's released and retained on their site. So that's really what's being adopted here. And that's really the sum total of the change. It's really the specific sort of engineering, hydraulic calculations are more stringent, and it's going to require that, these types of developments, anything that comes in to redevelop in town, is going to have to be more conservative in their design and also more sort of aggressive in how they manage runoff on their properties. You have less impacts off site, which everyone's seeing and we're constantly dealing with. So that's what this is for.
Okay. Can I get a motion and a second? Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Valcaro.
Yes.
Councilman Marinelli.
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid.
Yes.
Council President Leo.
Yes.
Mayor Wright.
Yes. Request for forgiveness on a late charge on first quarter tax payments by Coventry Realty LLC in the amount of $38.50. Can I have a motion and second to, we're going to talk about it? Should we talk about it first or no? I would recommend denying it because we had a person here last year that had a $1,000 or $2,000 bill and it was mistaken. We couldn't give hers back, so even though it's $38.50, it's not what we do.
Not our practice.
It's not our practice, and they'll be knocking down the doors for it. So I would request that we deny that.
Is that your motion, Mayor?
Yes. Have a roll call, please.
I need a second.
All right, second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Valcaro. Councilman Marinelli.
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid.
Yes.
Council President Leo.
Yes.
Mayor Wright.
Yes. All right, consent agenda, 1 through
Yes,
12.
I have something to add.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
sorry, I interrupted you there. It was items 1 through 12. Item number 2, we're going to renew the liquor license for the House of Wine and Liquor as well. And that's all of of their conditions.
Okay, so it's 13 then we're adding that?
Well, I'll just add it to number 2.
Oh, okay. Okay. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Delcaro?
Yes.
Councilman Marinelli?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Council President Polito?
Yes.
Mayor Ray.
Yes. All right, council reports. Rich? anything?
Mayor, for our constituents, I just wanted to mention, I'm hoping I'm not stealing your thunder, because you and I both went to this meeting called by the county. We were invited to a symposium, so to speak, that the county put on for government leaders in reference to the July 15th response to natural disasters. It was a very good networking program where it was developed to give public officials a complete overview of emergency management, to outline goals, objectives, and responsibilities. Basically, it was a very good presentation for municipalities to cooperate with one another in the event they suffer some severe disaster. So I just wanted to mention that. Secondly, I just wanted to, I know it's been our past practice to hire seasonal employees, and that time is upon us, and I'd just like to make a motion to hire those 2 employees as well this year, as we did the last 2 years. One is ready to start on June 17th, and the other one's ready to start July 1st.
With the Department of
With
Public
the Department of Public Works, I'm sorry, yes. So I'd like to make a motion to do that as well again.
I'll second that.
Councilman Delcaro?
Yes.
Councilman Marinelli?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Council President Polito?
Yes.
Mayor Ray.
Yes. Anything else? No, you have anything, Lou? No?
No.
Scott?
Yeah, the only thing I have is, last meeting, we tabled discussion on the Juneteenth holiday, discussing what we were going to do, whether we were going to grant it or not. I say we make a motion to make Juneteenth a federal or a holiday here in Lopatcong.
Second?
Oh, second that.
Roll call?
Yes. Councilman Delcaro?
Yes.
Councilman Marinelli?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Council President Polito?
Yes.
Mayor Ray.
Yes. Jim? Anything, you have anything else, Scott?
No.
Yes, we're going to decide. Yeah, you can. Yeah.
We were discussing whether for closing up the Sally Port for safety for the police officers. That should have been done when we built the building. It's been put off all these years. So every year it goes, it gets more expensive. I make a motion that we submit it out for bid and start working towards it.
I'll second that motion.
Councilman Delcaro?
Yes.
Councilman Marinelli?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Council President Polito?
Yes.
Mayor Ray.
Yes. Jim?
Thank you, Mayor. Rent Leveling Board, we had a meeting last month. I would like to propose work on amending the rent control ordinance. First, to require hard copies of all documentation pertaining to rent to be delivered to tenants, and also to require management companies retained by landlords to be subject to the same rules as landlords in that ordinance. That's all for now, thank you.
All right. I have, I don't know, it's disturbing to me. On May 24th, 9:46 a.m., I get a email from Mr. Bruce, starting out saying, with all due respect, I want to advise you in your official capacity as mayor. I posted on Nextdoor about the Piazza hiring. All right. Then he had a little click, takes you to a video. And the video was posted by John Ketcherson, another one of our Lopat.
Reposted, sir.
What's that?
Reposted, sir, was not the original.
Let me talk, all right? I have no idea about that. I see John Ketcherson.
Mr. Bruce, please, there'll be
All right.
public comment, you can comment then.
No, I'm
You can correct
correcting
it
you,
during
the
public
statement
comment.
of the public.
He's
Mr.
talking,
Bruce.
it's his
Mr.
meeting.
Bruce, you will be removed, I guarantee that. Now, I'm just telling you what it says. It said John Ketcherson on top, okay? So this post got you so upset that you went on and wrote me pages and pages on how bad we are and how terrible us hiring Mr. Piazza.
What?
No, calling it Piazza Gate. Okay? On and on. How it's terrible what we do, how we handle things, how corrupt we are, right? Well, guess what? You're wrong. You're dead wrong. Okay? Lopatcong is a civil service town. Civil service writes our job descriptions and with education experience requirements. We don't. We're civil service. Beth holds a QPA since 2009 and is looking to retire sometime in the future. Our finance department has had a vacancy for 1.5 years. We were trying to find somebody. We looked at several jobs descriptions before deciding purchasing agent would be one of the best components that we could do that could get a QPA license. The license benefits the township by raising the bid quotes threshold to be seamless, and our PA has 3 years to acquire this license. Now, the job was advertised on the township website. Crazy, right? Beth always advertises on the website, first trying to capture a town residents. We like to hire people from the town first. All right? We have a resolution with civil service that states, all things being equal, residents of Lopatcong are hired first. Do you know that? Don't answer. Which is often followed by Warren County residents and finally out of state. Randy Piazza was the only person who put an application in. No one else. No Lopatcong resident, no one else. He met the requirements. He has the experience. I worked with Randy at the Bridge Commission. I know the purchasing stuff he did, all right? So everything that was written is a lie, okay? The job posting went up on 3/18/2024. It still can be seen on that site. Document had a deadline of 3/29/24 to submit your application. The job post was deleted on 4/1 at 12:47 p.m. after the deadline. Now, you of all people know, if you have a question, you ask me or you call Beth. Don't listen to the internet idiots. Listen to the people here who have all the right and the correct information. People do anything and will do everything to get everybody riled up. All right? It's a joke. That's all I got to say, and I hope it changes from this point on. That's all I got to say. Thank you. All right, report from the engineer.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, excuse me. We have a few ongoing projects. Currently, we have the Bellevue Road Phase 2 project that just recently top-line construction has started about a week and a half ago. They've completed a number of the repairs, drainage repairs, sidewalk repairs. I received notice today that they expect to be milling and paving the road, weather dependent, Thursday or Friday of this week, so tomorrow or Friday, but likely Friday. And they expect to pave the road next week. So the work should be substantially complete by the end of next week. The next project that we have pending is the Jade Lane Improvements Project. That project was also awarded to Top Line Construction, and they expect to be starting, I think they were in communication with Brian today. They're bringing in materials that they need to do the drainage repairs, the manhole repairs, and the sidewalk construction. They're expecting to start that in the next week, and they're going to be very aggressive, they work very quickly to get the work done. So I would expect they're going to be done within the next 2 to 3 weeks, if not less, weather dependent again. The Belvedere Road sidewalk project that has been ongoing for the last few years. We held a pre-construction meeting with the NJDOT, with the Warren County Engineers Office, the contractor, and various township staff and representatives. We're expecting that work to begin likely near the end of June. We're completing the final NJDOT and Warren County requirements so we can get final approvals to begin that construction work. So we expect that to be starting very soon, very quickly. So we'll give notice certainly to Beth so she can post it on the website so that everyone's aware of when that work's going to be beginning as well. And the final project that we have in design is the pickleball courts. And we prepared the design concept a few weeks ago, and we're currently in the process of preparing the bid plans for construction so we can go out to bid on that job. Hopefully soon here we'll be going out to bid, and shortly after that, hopefully preparing the status of construction so we can get that built. So really, those are the four main items that we have right now.
Thank you. Chief, you have anything?
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Yeah, I just have a couple things. This coming Friday, it'll be the 41st Law Enforcement Torch Run. It commences at Greenwood ShopRite at 8:30 a.m. and a couple of our officers will be participating along with myself to support our Special Olympics New Jersey, which takes place every year at TCNJ, Trenton College of New Jersey. So it's a great cause. So if you see us out there, please root us on. We're doing it for a great cause. Glad to be a part of it. For our traffic report for May, officers had a total of 223 traffic stops. Of those stopped, 35% of them were issued traffic summons, and of those issued traffic summonses, 24% of them were tractor trailers. I did speak with Alex Lazorczak from the county administration earlier this week, and he informed me of more good news. Our county routes have been passed as weight restricted roadways. So 519 going through Lopatcong is now going to be a weight restricted roadway as well, 10 tons restricted. So we can start enforcing that as well. But on the other end of the county, starting up by Route 80, that's also going to be restricted. So we're going to see a lot less traffic, tractor trailer traffic coming from that direction. And I noticed he said that the state police has been heavily enforcing that to get the word out as well. So it's definitely a group effort within the whole county.
I come off of 80 today, up there off of in Hope, and they had 3 tractor trailers stopped.
Yep.
So it's working.
And that's where they're coming from, and that's where they're going to. So if we can get that through to everybody, then we're going to be in good shape. So, but I would like to make a motion on that note to hire a Class 2 officer, a Class 2 police officer applicant that I currently have, pending a contingent upon meeting the requirements of the police academy and the PTC to help mitigate some of these vehicle problems that we're having on our roadways.
So I need to make a motion? I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Valcaro?
Yes.
Councilman Marinelli?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Council President Polito?
Yes.
Mayor Wright?
Yes, and just to let you know, it took 2 years to find somebody to do this job, so.
I'm hoping everything works out well.
Yeah, me too, yeah. Yeah.
That's the end of my report.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, Council.
I know Lou's not here. Jimmy or Martin?
Good evening, Mayor,
How you doing, sir?
Council. For the month of May 2024, Lopatcong Fire Department responded to 15 calls of service. Our year-to-date for 2024 is 95 calls. Our prior year, 2023, year-to-date at this time was 93 calls, so we saw a 2% increase this year versus last year. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. All right. EMS? Anybody? Yeah. Somebody.
Good evening, everybody. For the month of May, Phillipsburg Emergency Squad ran 482 calls, of which 26% or 127 were in Lopatcong. Year to date, we're at 2,196 calls, of which 599 up to May were ran in Lopatcong, which is approximately 27% of our call volume.
Great. Thank you, appreciate it. All right. Approval of the department reports, and motion and second.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of payment of bills. Motion and second, approval.
Motion. Second.
Roll call vote. Beth?
Councilman Delcaro?
Yes.
Councilman Marinelli?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Council President Leo?
Yes.
Mayor Ray?
Yes. All right, public comment. Mr. Betts. Mr. Betts, Bob Betts, I called him.
I'm sorry.
That's all right, that's all right.
Jimmy made two statements about the rent levy board. One of them was something about a hard copy or all the documents pertaining to the rent.
Yeah.
That's one of them. And what was the second one? I didn't quite hear it.
Management companies retained by landlords want them to be subject to the same rules.
Subject to C. Okay, I'm over there with the Breakley Gardens Tenants Organization. And I thank you for the efforts that are being made to deal with some other situations over there.
Thanks, John. Bob?
Bob Bruce, 11 Harwich Road. I'm going to scrap the statement I had because I have to give you credit, Mr. Mayor, for addressing that email. I would have appreciated having gotten a reply, would have saved me the comments that I had scheduled. But I just wanted to correct the record as I tried to before. John Ketchison was not the author of that video. That author was generated. If you watched it, you will clearly see it is from Phillipsburg people who are concerned about their Phillipsburg mayor now working for Lopatcong, and the impropriety that such a situation is open to legitimate speculation. I think we would all agree that, so John had nothing to do. All John did was Nextdoor has various different forums, and he basically reposted it, okay? I'm sorry, I thought I was trying to give you all due respect and give you all outs. In the post that I had, I said there's a video on Nextdoor and Lopat Living questioning the propriety of Lopat hiring the mayor. I don't know anything about Randy Piazza. He could be a great guy, nothing against it. All I know, you know, from my point of view, I grew up in Queens, okay, this is kind of new to me, you know, that, you know, the Peaburg mayor being hired by Lopat, and now I'm seeing a video that's basically questioning that from people in Phillipsburg,
So that
okay?
video upset you?
But that video caused me to now start questioning things, and basically the questioning things that I did to you was the fact that since the end of Mr. Mangucci's term, and with the advent of your term, there seems to have been several aspects of public comment that have been limited. And the reasons that you have given, we frankly have done some research. I think John will be addressing that the answers you've given just don't hold water. We feel it is muzzling us because you just don't want to hear from us giving you complaints. Again, I'm at a loss because I hadn't expected you to step up and address it. And I commend you for stepping up and address it. And I remind you, without looking at my notes, because it's kind of hard to do, this would have been probably avoided had there been a much more open discussion about what this thing was. You gave us the who, what, and why. You told us that Beth was qualified and she wants to retire from a purchasing agent. So my time is up. You know, it's hard to literally off-cuff it when I used to have 5 minutes. And I will just say I'm calling, as I called in the letter, I call on you to return agenda item questioning and possibly increase to 5 minutes.
Sounds good.
Can I just make one point? Just because you don't author a post, if you forward it and it's libelous, slanderous, hurtful, whatever, if you believed everything on the internet, you believed the moon was made of green cheese, that Elvis was down playing cards in Brazil with the Loch Ness Monster, and God knows what else. So you can't just willy-nilly forward posts and just say, well, it wasn't my post. You become responsible.
No, that wasn't the issue, sir. The issue
That's
was,
the issue.
no, that's your issue. All right, we can continue a calm and reasoned explanation. The issue was that what was raised in that video raised legitimate speculation about why a Phillipsburg mayor was being hired by a neighboring Lopatcong Township, and the potential speculation that would, who's paying him for who, so on and so forth. It's a legitimate question,
No,
sir.
this is a civil service municipality. That
Well, I
that
wasn't
video
aware of
I
that.
saw
I'm glad-
was lies
thank
and
you for-
misrepresentations. And then and somebody who forwards that bears responsibility for that, even if they didn't create it.
Okay, fine.
And to say, oh, I didn't do it, I just reposted it, I just forwarded it, is not an excuse, is not
Okay.
a good excuse, and it's not recognized as an
Okay, I didn't find anything other than pointing them to something that was out on the internet, and I took my opinions from basically my experience with dealing with this board in the 3 years that I've been attending meetings nearly. And so, you know, I'm sorry you don't see it that way.
Just because you're an elected official doesn't mean you can't support your family and apply for a job that you're qualified for.
I never
So,
said, I never
it's
said
funny to
that.
then repost things that attack a
I
good
never
man
said that.
who's done nothing other than apply for a job he's qualified for,
Sir-
which was duly posted in a civil service municipality.
Sir,
Don't be ashamed of yourself.
I was not, if you want to involve in personal attacks, that's your right.
No, no, no,
sir.
you
I am-
reporting personal
are
attacks, that's
you-
what I'm
are-
addressing. That's
okay.
the problem.
Okay. I have in my statement that I was going to make tonight, and I didn't make it because, again, I commend Mayor White for stepping up and addressing it. If I had known half of what I heard from out of Mayor Wright's mouth tonight, as part of the regular order of operations that this
But
council
don't you think
operates
giving me a
under.
call or before you post, you gave me a piece of paper that said I have just posted on Facebook
Well-
Network or whatever it's called.
Okay, I
And
didn't know that.
That's what you did.
Yes.
And then you gave me a
On
thing that
next
showed
door.
John Ketcherson forwarding this video. It doesn't say where it came from, it doesn't say anything.
That's understandable
Anybody
that
do
there
it.
would be that level of confusion. I'm
But that's
simply
what-
pointing out that generated some legitimate speculation as to what was going on, and it was an issue that was never really raised whatsoever until tonight. So I commend you, sir, for answering that. Public service community, I don't know that. Beth being qualified and we having to get somebody to replace it and it being posted on the Lopatcong website, I didn't address any of that. I addressed simply that when I saw a video like that, I had
believe
some
that video.
I had some questions of speculation, and I addressed you to answer them tonight, sir. I asked you to address them, and I appreciate you answering them.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next, who else? Yes, sir. Now, wait, John. Yeah.
Ernie Gallant, 245 Aurora Street.
Yes, sir.
As you all know, recently, Lopatcong experienced a very short but very nasty storm. A lot of trees came down and everything. I don't know what the Department of Public Works, what those guys do every day, but their response to this, I mean, they were out there almost before it hit. And I saw them in different parts of the town. I mean, they were really working hard. It was good for me to see that, people who were public employees were working so hard and so diligently to clean everything up. I just want to say thank you
Oh, great.
to Brian Weeks and to his department for their response for that.
And did we put on the website if you had trees go down or anything like that, we were gonna grab them for the residents? No? Well, if there's
So we
storm,
reacted to everybody that called.
that call, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
they did their stuff up for
Okay,
me and they were
perfect.
very responsible.
great. Thank you. John? All right, good.
Donna Schneider, 26 Meadowview. I haven't been to the last couple meetings, and wow, I guess I missed a lot. From the top, I'm not quite sure why Sally ports and trailers are in executive session. They don't belong, in my opinion. I feel that there are so many things in executive session that actually shouldn't be in executive session. I feel it is, it's given an appearance of hiding things because it's a Sally port. It's not. It could be discussed outside, especially after we're voting on it. Paper roads being an executive session. There's so many things in executive session that should not belong. They're not contractual. They're not employee related. So that's my bit on that. Jim, you took office in January, correct? Scott, sorry. You took office in January, correct?
Correct.
At the February meeting, you approved minutes for December and for January. You said yes to both.
Yeah, I should know.
Yeah, so
But
just,
you're allowed to vote on minutes of meetings.
I did read through them, though.
You don't have to don't attend, so you can check the law on that.
You
I
can-
did read through them.
you did read through them? Okay. That's good to know. Thank you. Twilight still has trailers parked in the lot. They're not trucks, but the trailers are still there.
He owns them, that's what he tells us.
He owns them.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there
I
not,
went after him for that.
you did, and that's legitimate? He can keep them there?
Yeah, apparently, because they've been there since he bought the property, so,
Okay.
yeah, I tried.
Okay. How about the bus?
That there, I don't know, I asked, Andrew about it on the next property.
The tree farm.
Yeah, they got rid of one, I think he went there, but the other one's not there no more, or the other one's still there.
The green one is still
Yeah.
there, yeah.
We gotta get rid of that.
Okay, so that's going to be addressed at some
Yeah,
point?
I'll check back.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed that you cut the minutes down to 3. It's very hard to, there are a lot of things in a month's time that you have questions about, and I think after taking away public comment for agenda items and then bringing it down to 3, it just doesn't sit well with me because for the most part, there's only 4 people.
Everybody around here is, that's what everybody does.
Okay.
It just went too long, they had scripts, I mean, this is ridiculous. Tell us what you want to know and stuff like that, and you'll get on it.
Yeah, 5 minutes wasn't really, you can't really do a script in 5, but yeah, it's just, there's a lot to go over and 3 minutes doesn't give it all, especially if you're dialoguing back and forth, 3 minutes is up like that,
We don't talk.
There's finally some reports tonight on your individual assignments, so I appreciate that because in the past, there has not been any reports monthly. Nobody really gives any reports. Jim, you're the only one that kind of gives reports that give us some things that are going on, so thank you for that, but we don't know anything about DPW, sewer, we don't know anything about those and what the goings-ons are, and you don't discuss anything on ordinances or anything like that. Also, Polo, because we're dialoguing, I'd ask for 30 seconds. You pulled out, ProHat pulled out of Polo, and I know you guys were mad because McKay didn't include it. It wasn't to stop warehouses. You guys were upset because it prohibited Polo from being built. So you gave me some misinformation on that. And, you guys are pushing you told me that McKay screwed it up. But McKay screwed it up because for Polo, not for this township to stop a warehouse.
What's Polo?
Polo, ProHat, Lopat, the ones that were going up on the farm field behind the mall.
That's okay, all right.
It's called Polo. Polo, Lopat,
Okay, I get it, yeah.
I watched the video from ProHat, and it shows that, they're the ones that don't want it, and they're being pressured by people in this township to do it. So, it's just not, I was told misinformation from this board. It wasn't truthful information when I asked about that. So that's a little disappointing that I didn't get the correct information. You guys sit here month after month.
Your time's up.
Yep, okay. But you guys basically lied to us about the Polo, and, you want to talk about liars, Rich? Who's the liar?
Time's up.
Thank you.
Yeah, John.
John Ketcherson, 38 Jade Lane. You said just now, everybody around us has 3 minutes for, can you say who, tell me who everybody around us
We
is?
you did a check, right?
Yeah, there's numerous municipalities that, you know.
In the county.
are-
Okay, because I looked at, when I think of everybody around us, I looked at Pohat, Alpha, Greenwich, and Phillipsburg. And out of those, there's only one other township that has 3 minutes for public comments. And also, 3 out of 4 of those townships allow for comments on agenda items. So, that's just another example of not being really honest with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
So you also said that, one of the problems is...
Phillipsburg the same kind
Excuse me.
of authority as us, or same kind of government?
Excuse me?
Is Phillipsburg run the same way?
Beth, could you stop the clock?
No way,
Because you're not going to run down my clock.
You know everything. Does Phillipsburg have the same kind of government as we do?
Look, I'm just looking at the councils.
All right, yeah, come on.
Yeah, I don't really think it would matter. I mean, if a council is a council, and allowing public comment is allowing public comment. So one of the other points that was brought up is other towns actually bring up and debate items. You guys sit up here, you bring up an item and you vote on it. Bring up an item and you vote on it. Without having that ability to ask about agenda items, you take away any kind of knowledge that people can get from these.
Second reading you can talk about.
At the second reading,
Yes.
but that point, it's too late.
No.
It's, how can you form any kind of questions or anything when all you're doing is, the night that you're going to vote on it? Debate, guys, come on, talk about it a little bit. So you also said that no one, at the last meeting when Bob Bruce asked about agenda items, you said that no one wants to sit through a 4-hour council meeting. I looked at all the council meetings from 2023. Not one of them went over an hour and a half. The average is under an hour. The shortest one was 25 minutes. That's not true. There's been no 4-hour council meetings.
They felt
So
4 hours.
your excuse is just off base. So since you want to be honest and open here, let's talk about the EMS building. Could you explain why we diverted funds that were going to a fire truck to purchase the EMS building? It's in the notes for the March 26th meeting.
We diverted money?
It said that we used money that was allocated for the purchase of the fire truck and used it instead for the purchase of the EMS building. Diverted, same thing.
Kim, maybe you can.
Yeah, we were discussing options, and when it came down to it, we could not do both.
Right, we said that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the fire truck is now going to cost us a minimum of $40,000 more. Why did we think that was a good idea?
Well, we don't have the money for the fire truck yet.
But you had the money to purchase an EMS building.
We have not purchased an EMS building yet.
The notes said that money allocated for the purchase of the fire truck went to the purchase of the EMS building. That's what it says in your minutes.
Of the capital plan.
We allocated the
Yeah,
money,
allocated.
we have not purchased it yet.
Okay, so the money's,
And it's
Taken
a
from
lot
one-
less money.
but it's going to now cost us $40,000 more for the fire truck. But, so why what are we going to use the EMS building for?
We don't know. I mean, that's why we gotta talk about it.
So don't you
We
think?
haven't even
So
got,
this is the type of information that the public would never
haven't
know
talked about
because
it
you
yet.
guys don't talk about it.
well, your time's up, but thanks.
Pardon?
Your time is up, though.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for running down the clock, my Bill.
All right, anybody else? Seeing none, motion for adjournment?
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Thank you.
So we didn't have the $40,000. We didn't have the $40,000.